This is a wee improv story I've got for you. Based on that idea, a man reads a book in a park. Let the story commence. This will be interesting one, this one. Um, Guy Craig was just sitting in the park reading a book, minding his own business. All of a sudden, the thing that he was reading happened. So he did happen to be reading about a guy in a park. And this is fucking mad. The bit that he got to in the park was the main character was reading a book in a park, and he was like, yo. It's like Googling Google. If you Google, it breaks. And there's something else. There's another thing that breaks everything. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember. But he no, not Divine by Zero. I mean, no, it actually does break everything. But anyway, this was serious for him, and he picked up the book and he read it. And the next bit he read was the guy in the fucking story dropped his book, no for the same reason, but he did drop his book, and he was like, "Ah, fuck," and he dropped it again, and he just started fucking sprinting. He just started fucking sprinting. And I can tell you exactly where he was and exactly what he did next. He went to the sheriff court because he said, "You better jail me now because I'm going off my fucking nut and I'm going to do something daft." And he caged. I'm going to show you exactly where he was. Exactly where he was. Glasgow Green. Map. I'll show you exactly where he was. This is confusing. Aye, right there. Right there is where it was. Right there. Right, if I come along here a wee bit, you should be able to see. See that bench right there? Right, so this is Glasgow Green, right? Big park. Right? On that bench there. Dropped the book and he sprinted all the way to the sheriff court. Which, if I remember correctly, you come along here. And we pop over here. There's your sheriff court. That's your sheriff court there. And he went in and he said, "Fucking cage me right now because I'm losing the plot." I need caged. But we can't do that unless you committed a crime. We can lock me up or I can do the crime. I'll murder somebody. And he said, "Run court. Run court." He said, "What are you on about? This is the sheriff court." What's the sheriff court? We deal with quite serious offences, but no like murder. We deal with, like, say, we don't do life sentences, for example. We do things like car theft, burglary, assault, things like that. Well, where did I go then? High court. Where's that? And it was this. They gave them directions. It was this way. Come along here. Back the way you fucking came. Back the way you came. Back the way you came. Yes, it's a fucking Google fucking van. Yes. Mad, isn't it? Back the way you came. Can you believe it? He was right next to it the whole time. Look. Come along here. There we are. That's your high court. That's where you get fucking sent down for life. Right here. This is where you get sent down for life. What'd he get? What'd he get? Done for life. And he went in there and he said, jail me right now because I've lost the fucking plot. There's a bit in the book that described basically what I was doing. No, exactly. But I've kind of lost it now. And I don't think I'm going to go back. Go back where? Go back to where I was mentally. I'm warped. I don't think I'm going to go back now. So that's me out now. Out my head. And it's not going back in the box. Do you know what I mean? We don't know. Exactly. Right, see the fact you don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm like kind of like babbling. You need to lock me up right now because I'm about to go and do something daft. Because none of this feels real. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel violent. But the fact that none of this feels real, something might go wrong. This is starting to feel like a game. I feel like I'm in Grand Theft Auto and I might actually test to see how real or not real that I'm not making sense. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So he said, I'm going to kill some cunt, or you can jail me right now. We can't just take you in. You've got to have done something, and then you've actually got to go through the system. He said, right, this cunt, and there was somebody waiting outside, and he ripped him right across the throat. Ripped. And the judge went like that. Right, listen, I'll tell you what, I'll do a wee special deal for the day because it's the last one. It was the Friday. It's the last one before the weekend. I can send you down for minimum tariff for 25 year. I'll do me. And Craig is in there right now on his PS6 playing Grand Theft Auto 15. And the strange thing is, see the graphics, you know how he was kind of concerned that he was like, he couldn't tell the difference between reality and fantasy. And it started to feel like Grand Theft Auto. The graphics on this thing, by the way, it is the same problem. Once this actually hits the PS6 and Grand Theft Auto 15 actually hits the market, we're going to have the same issue. It is so realistic. The graphics are so amazing. I've criticised things like Unreal Engine and all that, things like that in the past because I'm like, it's alright, but it's not brilliant. It's alright, it's good, but it's not like this. Honestly, the graphics on the PS6, it's still going to go for like PS4 up to the PS5 and then that same increment to the PS6. For the PS5 to the PS6, something, I can't tell you what, something has been invented, because remember, this is all fake. See, the advance of technology, it is deliberately held back so you don't reach a peak, the point where, the capacitors and things like that kind of close together. The singularity type of thing, they don't go like that, let's make it as much, it goes gradually. I watched the program on it. It's deliberately kind of just slowed down a wee bit. But the PS6, something has been invented, but it'll be put in the news that it's just been invented. It's already been invented. That really, the amount of capacitors and diodes and things like that you can now get printed on a fucking chip and all the rest of it is like, it has just suddenly become 1,000 times weird. You can make this fucking thing with hardly any overheating fucking Moore's law, that kind of thing. With hardly any, it's already been broken. All right. But this is another Moore. So you think of Roger Moore. This now is Patrick Moore. You get names for like storms and things like that. This is Dudley Moore. Dudley Moore. I tell you, wait to see this PS6, it'll make every other one that's came before it, a fucking dud. A dud lemur. Take your computers and everything, chuck them out. You'll now be able to get 1,000 times more stuff on a fucking chip with no overheating problems. It's amazing. It's a new... Somebody just twigged. A scientist just went like, wait a minute. Can we not just... I don't know if it's because I've had a couple of pints. I need to calm it, but I'm going to say something daft here. Just honestly shoot me down if I'm talking shite. Can we not just... And then he came out with this fucking amazing... simplest fuck idea, and people went like that in the lab. Oh, what are you on about? That would have been tried by now if it was... Well, who tried it though? Does it not make sense? And they tried it and they're like, what? Well, did nobody fucking try this? I just thought, I assumed somebody else would have. It was a pure obvious fucking thing. Anyway, the graphics in this fucking the PS6 and Grand Theft Auto 15 was so real that what has happened to Craig is actually going to happen to every cunt. So he's actually playing that, and the weird thing is, he's already lost it. It already looks real to him anyway. The whole thing. It's just a fucking mess. It's a mess. No wonder. Remember, as I was tweeting this morning, 4 billion years in the making we are. 4 billion years, this brain in the making. 4 billion at least. It's a lot for a person to honor. What's that in seconds? Even more. Just because it's got 4 in an M4 billion, did you know that a year is actually broken down into smaller increments called seconds? And therefore, because it is smaller, that means you get more of them in it. So, I don't know if you saw the tweets. For example, let's say you had a bag of oranges, kind of net thing, the sort of thing that you should really be getting. You should get all loose. You might think that's one bag of oranges, but inside the bag are like 6 oranges. It's actually made up of a more numerous. There's a so you got one bag, but in the one bag are 6 oranges. That was explained to me today. That 4 billion years, if you think about it, a year is this many seconds, or a day is this many seconds. And if you multiply that, that means... So actually, 4 billion years is actually a really fucking long time. Somebody educated me today. It was a guy. It was a man. I never thought about it like that. Anyway, so this is a huge problem that's coming up, and that is going to be coming out next a couple of years. Anytime I see GTA 6 trending, I'm just like, this isn't fucking funny. This isn't funny. Everybody's so excited. Where do you think we're heading? That's the end of the story. Because this isn't a story. It's actually a warning. No warning for history. A warning for the future. No warning for history. A warning from the future. I don't want to talk about it. This is the last thing I'm going to say about it. Because I'm scared. I'm scared that they're going to get me.